Dude, we are back this week with another great episode. We've got our boy Kevin coming on tonight, vice president of the Memphis in May barbecue competition, world-renowned competition. And looking at the amount of years this competition has been going on, this is 46 years. So 47 years is when it started, 46 years in competition. I know that because that's the year I was born.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's like, look, you had Memphis in May, and then you had Coors Light was invented somewhere around the same year or so. And I think we were born. So I don't know if
that's a trifecta.
It might be. Yeah.
That is a trifecta. Yeah. So cannot wait to get in with Kevin. Kevin will be here about 30 minutes. So we'll be able to dive into the Memphis in May, talk about everything that makes that competition so great, the history of it, and then kind of the roles and responsibilities that Kevin has, and then where it's going, right? What does the future of Memphis in May look like? So cannot wait to have him in. Each week we kind of go through a little bit. We kind of talk about, how our weeks were or what's going on in barbecue. A few things that I have to get off my chest real quick, James.
Go for it.
Is that James popped out one of the best damn briskets I've had in a long time this Saturday, and it was beautiful. I don't know if you have any pictures of that we're going to show today or not.
I don't.
But it was beautiful. It was savory. It was tasty. Did not sauce it. Didn't need a sauce, right? That brisket, like if you're saucing that brisket, you're probably getting a backhand or something. I don't know. It was that damn good. And then we each kind of took our portions of the brisket later on the next day, and I mean I've been eating off that brisket now for a few days now, and John posted a video, and I don't want to give John too much shit, right? But John, I picked John up for brunch a couple of weeks ago, and he made this comment about him doing some enchiladas, some brisket enchiladas, right? And I said, okay, that's cool, man. He's like, we're riding down the road. I said, what did you use corn tortillas? And he goes, no, I use flour. And I go, that's not enchilada, man. But I mean, enchiladas made with corn tortillas, and he kind of called BS on me, so that could seem. They're Googling as he's going through it. And he was like, shit, man, you're right. And I was like, yeah, man, you made like a wet burrito is what you made. You make a cheesy wet burrito. Man. That's not an enchilada, And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can do it with flour tortillas. It's just not preferred.
It just falls apart, right?
It's not preferred, right? Yeah, you can't pick it up. It's going to get a little gummy. It's going to get a little weird.
Pretty much making like tortilla soup, right?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, maybe. I don't know about tortilla soup. That's kind of weird, James.
That's what I imagined.
Yeah, no. I mean, they look good. It cut up good. I just wouldn't call that an enchilada. Raul, would you call an enchilada with flour tortillas an enchilada?
No, that's not an enchilada.
I didn't think so.
It's a burrito.
It's a burrito, right?
Yeah, definitely 100%.
So I kind of went through it, and he put together a great video, and I said, what about the red sauce? How'd you make your red sauce? He said, well, I did I canned it. I got the can. And I was like, oh man, so I cannot wait to see this video. So he drops the video. Video looks good. And I just kind of wanted to talk a little BS a little bit. So I came home. I guess it was Monday night. Or Tuesday night. I don't know what night. What night I brought over the enchiladas, James?
Yeah, I think it was Tuesday.
Tuesday night. So I come home Tuesday night, and I spent about 3 hours. That was Monday. So I spent about 3 hours in the kitchen, and I make this homemade tomatillo and arbol chili sauce, and I got the corn tortillas rocking. And I make this grilled onions and a little bit of garlic and this smoked brisket in a pan. I get everything nice and covered, and I assemble these brisket enchiladas. And I took a pan to John, and it was 8:00 at night. He was like, I'm about to go to bed. I was like, man, hold on, I got a hot plate. I got a hot pan of enchiladas. Fix and bring over. So it took him a day or two. He wouldn't call me back. I tried to call him a couple of times. He wouldn't answer my calls. And I know he thinks I'm flexing on him, but I'm not trying to flex on you that much, John. I just wanted you to know that,
just want a little feedback.
There's a way to make enchiladas, and then there's a way to make enchiladas. And I'm hoping you enjoyed them. He did give me a little feedback finally. He said they were good. And so I do appreciate that. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to flex a little bit on that.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, we got a couple comments that jumped in real quick.
Yeah.
There's some guy named Jonathan.
Okay.
He said, "Where's the good-looking one that's usually there?"
We're here, right here.
Yeah, he's hey,
As
brother,
always.
brother. What are you talking about? Hey, James, we're here, buddy. We're here. Yeah.
Pit Life came in and said, "What's up, boys?" And Jonathan came back and said, "Your enchiladas were dry."
Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
They were dry.
Yeah,
I don't believe him.
I guess
I
maybe you should have covered them in a can of that old El Paso
Damn,
enchilada
John.
sauce.
I missed that. I missed that old El Paso.
Yeah, dang.
That sauce. Dang. Maybe they were a little dry if you eat them the next day, John. Maybe you had them fresh when I brought them over to you. Maybe they weren't. I don't know, John. I don't know. Yeah. So just, I don't know, man. This week I had a lot of plans to just do a lot of cooking in the house. You know, when you go to you had this, like, you pre-planned during the weekend about everything you're going to do the next week. I got one meal done this week, one completed meal. That was it. The rest of the week was shot. And I've got basically a refrigerator full of groceries now that I'm like, I got to figure something out with, because freeze, cryovac, or hell, eat or throw away. So, I guess that whole thing when you're trying to get healthy, and you go out and buy all that healthy food and whatever else, and it just spoils, and you're like, damn, dude, it looks like next week I'm gonna get a little healthy. Maybe I got healthy, but not eating it. I don't know. Yeah,
man. So yeah, my week was good. Like you said, I did the brisket. The briskets are always come out the best when you're not really trying. You know what I mean? You're just throwing it to it. It just the way I did this one, we did it on the little offset smoker that Jan has. And dude, I loaded this up with some Jealous Devil charcoal, and then I just started feeding that bad boy like mesquite chunks for like the good, like I don't know, first hour and a half, 2 hours, just straight mesquite. And then once I ran out of the mesquite, I transitioned over to oak, and then we rocked, I don't know, probably another 4 hours or so. It's about total 6+ hours to smoke. And then I felt like the bark was already set. So wrapped it up. I put some au jus, some stuff in the wrap. I used that chicken fried brisket wrap.
Oh, man.
That stuff's killer. Wrapped it up. Then it went into the oven. And then we finished cooking it. And man, I just essentially just turned the oven off, and I just let the oven like act as a warmer.
Yeah.
And it just kind of did its like warm resting period there, and then sliced it up and went from there. Like I gave Jan some. I've been eating on it all week. Gave the neighbor some, or Jan gave the neighbor some. They've been eating on it. So yeah, man, it's really good. Just brisket tacos. I mean, I love brisket tacos.
That's the third time you said it. Damn, dude.
One was like breakfast. One was breakfast. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
The brisket and eggs. So, but yeah, no, it's awesome.
Man, look, I'm a big fan of brisket breakfast tacos. But something about that smokiness when you eat them before you go to work, and then you have that, like, it lingers with you for a little bit, right? You're at work and you have a little bit of a burp or a belch, and you're like,
that's just a protein work.
Dang, dude, I got a little smoke coming out of my,
that's just that smoke protein
out of my lungs. Yeah.
I did see this, obviously this is a barbecue podcast, but we're going to get to Kevin Grothe here in a short, like 20 minutes or so, VP of Memphis in May. So very interested to talk to him and find out all the ins and outs, the new changes and the future plans for the Memphis in May, and just learn about it, because it is a different cook that what maybe we're used to in the Texas region, doing the champions or the IBCA. So it's very, I guess, pork central up there at Memphis in May, and the way they judge to where you can have, like, I guess, a whole hog versus a rib to determine who's going to be the overall grand champion.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
I guess it just comes down to like the best bite, and then your overall scores with everything. You know what I mean? But we'll get into that. We'll discuss it with Kevin, because he's got a lot of knowledge about that. So we're super excited. But I did see, now I got invited today to do a barbecue, a hot dog competition, social media people. So our friend over there with, there it is right there. Backyard Shenanigans. He's like, he tagged me and grabbing the brisket. I was like, all right, bet, let's go. Let's go ahead and put a hot dog out there. So we did the El Guapo dog. Go run to our TikTok page. You can go check it out to kind of get it up close and personal view of that. And man, it was a badass hot dog.
It was a great hot dog, man. That the HEB Reaper cheese never lets me down. The fresh guacamole, the pico de gallo. I mean, when you eat something like that, you're like, this is how all dogs should be made, especially if you're in Texas. But yeah, it was great. It's definitely one that's going to come back later.
It changes your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
right.
really does change your life.
About 2 hours later, you're going to feel it. Okay.
But you know
So-
what? It's not a boring hot dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get tired of just boring hot dogs, and why not spice it up a little bit? So we had fun with that. We definitely it is in our repertoire, so we bust it out all the time. So that's pretty cool. I did see they had another monumental thing that happened this week. I don't know if you saw that. The first female, like all female flight into space. How was that? Were you touched by that, or
I vaguely saw something about this, and my initial thought was like, okay, who's really piloting? Right? Is it really a female, or is it? I'm just kidding. But really, is it though? I mean, and then is it more like a slingshot? You just shoot a sphere in space. You're like, all right, we'll see you later. You know.
just like
Yeah, right. Bye. You know, I wish we'd had some people there.
You know, when I first saw the initial report of that, I was like, okay, you know what? Hey, that's badass. And then I saw, I guess it was Jeff Bezos, the Amazon guy. It was his rocket that he was shooting up in space. It's the one that looks like a big giant
penis
spaceship. I was going to say spaceship.
Okay.
But I was like, okay, cool. And they say all female flight. I'm like, all right, cool. And then they showed a picture of Katy Perry, and I'm like, okay, that's. And they had that.
Katy Perry's on the flight?
Yeah, Katy Perry was on the flight.
Get out of town, dude.
Yeah, that news anchor Gail, what's her name? She's on the
Gail
Today
King?
Yeah, Gail King. She was on it. Jeff Bezos' wife was on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of men want to shoot their wives into space. Let's not. Yeah.
It was just a weird, and everything's videoed, and a lot of people are like, this is totally fake because there's a lot of shots when this thing landed and the door opened from the inside, and you know, it's just weird. They did show a funny moment where Jeff Bezos like tripped and ate his ass on like live camera. He like fell into a hole. I was like,
God.
oh, like he got up real quick, try to dust it off a little bit.
Yeah, he's all bleeding and shit under the suit. He's like, fuck, man, I got freaking, I'm suing everybody on this thing.
Yeah, I would have been mad. I was like, I'm worth billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And y'all let me fall on the floor.
I would have kicked somebody. Bring Tom over here right now. I'm just kick him.
Who put this spaceship right here?
Yeah. That's funny.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Maybe I'm assuming, you know, you said that open up from the inside, and, you know, like, you know, spaceships or capsules don't open from the inside. You have to open from the outside. I'm thinking to myself, like, maybe they waited for them to land, and they went and checked on everybody. Then they had to do a reenactment.
Right. They had like a fake.
They had to go and be like, okay, let's do it again. And Jeff has to fall again. You know, like, oh, Jeff, you freaking worm. What are you doing?
Do you think he opened it up? They opened it up just to make sure nobody was just like all
Dead?
just like guts and just everything.
Right. This thing spun out of
He's
control.
like, close it up.
Yeah. Hey, shoot it back into space.
Guys, can you use Chat GPT just to redo this whole thing?
Yeah, right.
You know what it made me
Right.
think of? You remember the Dumb and Dumber movie where he's at the bar and he's walking out. He's like, they landed on the moon.
Yeah. It's so
Oh
good.
man, so that kind of like inspired me a little bit. You know, the whole Chat GPT making action figures, that's floating all over the webs now, and I know it's kind of getting played out a little bit, but I always like messing around with Chat GPT just to see what it can create, because you never know.
Right.
So
right.
you know, I prompted it and asked it to, you know, with the evolution that the human beings are going through, you know, can they project and just speed this up of what humans would look like in about 1,000 years, just to give me an idea of what, you know, it thinks. So it goes through this whole thing, list of like new technologies and stuff like that.
Are those gills?
I don't know what that is, but there was talking about like implants that they're going to have these like biomedical whatever implants that people will be able to get into the future.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a camera on his forehead or what.
Another
but-
eye.
Right.
It's like I would just wink at me or something.
Right. It's just like a GoPro that's just like implanted into your brain or whatever. But yeah, they also said due to like, I think it's the CRISPR technology, which is being utilized right now to edit people's genes. I think that's what they use to create the COVID vaccine, if I'm not mistaken. But the CRISPR technology is that in the future, you're going to be able to change the melatonin in your skin. You're going to be able to essentially just press a button and you're going to be like just nice and tan. You know what I mean?
That way you don't like for UVs.
For UV protection.
Oh,
yeah.
is that what it's for? I'm gonna tell you what I thought about. Just driving different neighborhoods.
Yeah. Well, wait. Damn, bro. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, that's funny.
You're floating around the there's not a name I can think of being like
so what I like about that is if you look at the picture, the dude's got 2 moles on his neck. Man, you get those checked out, dude. I don't know what's happening with this dude. Yeah, and he's got gills.
All perfect in the future, right?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
So then I was asking, I was also like, okay, well now while we're here, let's just go ahead and fast forward and let's show me an image of somebody like 10,000 years from now. And that's what
we're aliens.
We are essentially aliens 10,000 years from now.
That's aliens.
So I'm wondering, and they talked about our trips going to Mars, and I mean, Elon talks about it all the time, but our trips going to Mars, he's like, as we evolve and the gravity gets lesser, when we go like to Mars, we go to other places like that, it's less pressure on our bodies, and we're going to start getting taller. And then more like we're going to lose our muscle definition because of the gravity.
Yeah. What happened to your hair?
I guess you don't need hair in the future.
I think someone had sex with an alien, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, this is what people see. It's what they describe when people visit us now, right? They describe a being looking like that damn thing right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct. Yes. So it obviously, before we move on, I also was like, what would a girl look like? I mean, I got to see what a girl would look
dude,
like.
you freaking.
So that's what we're looking at. That's a future 10,000 years from now, women.
Okay.
I'm sure that they're more intelligent and,
yeah, I'm sure you're right, James.
Or are they just artificial robots? I don't know.
It's weird, man. It looks like a sci-fi movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
It does. But while I was on that track, I was like, let's get into barbecue. Let's do a little future projecting on what maybe a possible grill or smoker would look like 100 years from now. And this was the image they gave me here. This is a future pitmaster 100 years from now. This is your backyard. Apparently everything is immaculate and clean. And there's probably got just like a team of AI robots that are just going everywhere, cleaning up everything. But this is the grill that it came up with. And it explained a lot of scientifically type stuff about atomizing stuff from air and pulling in mesquite smoke and all stuff like that. I didn't understand what it was saying, but obviously AI understood what it was.
Words.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. So I was like, okay,
That's
great.
cool.
Hey, create me a future magazine ad and try to sell it to people. And this is what it came up with.
Okay. So you got a levitating burger.
Essentially,
or a steak.
Yeah, it levitates your food to where you get even cooking on all surfaces.
Okay.
No more like peasant laying on grates. You
Yeah,
know
right.
what I mean?
You don't need grates.
You don't need grates anymore. This just like it just levitates. And also, I think there's a model to where you can teleport your food across the world.
So if I want a burger from somewhere else,
if you
send
want
me a burger.
You want to send a Franklin's brisket over to Tokyo, it'll be about a couple seconds.
You eating that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure.
You eating that?
Why not?
No, man. No, I'm not eating that.
I already got like fish eyes. I mean, what am I? What's it gonna hurt?
Yeah. Damn.
But it comes with its own drone. It uses AI technology to monitor your food. You never overcook it. I don't know.
Did you read some of the slogans that were written down here?
Yeah, I can't read from here, but go ahead and read out some of it.
It says, you don't grill like your granddad.
Mm-hmm.
It says, so why cook on some rusted out barrel pit?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
The Ember Forge X1.
Look, this is patented, guys. So don't try to steal this idea.
That's right.
We're going to start up not the GoFundMe, but what's the let's see where you start a business and you try to get the funding for it.
You're talking about
Drawing blank, but somebody will.
startup. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Farm
it's
company.
like, yeah, I don't, damn, dude, why do you ask questions like that?
Hey, whether you're in Texas or base 9, this is it right here. Barbecue. Mhm.
Damn.
I like how in
Okay.
the future, 10,000 years from now, Texas is still relevant.
Yeah, we got an airplane in the air with trees.
I think it comes with its own drone.
Okay.
So it monitors your food. Maybe
Nice.
it protects it. I don't know. Maybe you have a bunch of like barbecue stealing like alien thieves out there. I don't know what they are,
Ugh,
but
it's weird beer.
uh,
Hey, really quick, we do have the Grab 'em the Brisket beer review. Hey, dude, that was nice, man. We have the Martin House Brewery Tropical Nuke Juice Banana and Mango Sour. This is definitely one that's if you're into sours or into this kind of beers, you're probably gonna love it. If you've been drinking Coors Light for about an hour, might take a little something to get used to, so there's always that. It's not that bad, a little light, but I'm sure we'll get into this later, whatever else. I just want to make sure that we
it's
got a
sour.
chance to take a look at it.
Try to give the
It's 13% alcohol by volume. Doesn't have any IBUs or anything else.
Yeah.
This comes with its own government warning. I'm not going to read it, but we might post it. So
I love the
there's
safety
that.
placards on it.
Yeah.
Hey, Pit Life came in and said that grill you would have to jumpstart. Yeah.
right.
And then it's called a Kickstarter.
Kickstart.
Oh,
Okay,
Kickstart,
yeah.
man.
All right,
Yeah,
we're-
damn.
We're starting a Kickstarter, guys.
That's funny.
All right, guys. Here in a couple of minutes. So we're going to get into the Grabbing the Brisket beer review probably after our interview. We'll give you our thoughts. We got an ad read. Jan, do you want to do an ad read? Get into the. I know John's he's probably watching right now. It's like, where's the ad?
John.
Oh, I don't have it on this paper. It's on. We did not print it off. So,
Okay.
Jan, do you want to ad lib?
Yeah. Listen. So the most versatile seasoning that we use, that we get the opportunity to rep, also because it was kind of near and dear to us, which is the Chicks That Smoke from SUCKLEBUSTERS.com. Check it out. It's great on everything. Poultry, steak, French fries, potato salad. It's just a great all-around seasoning. It's got a little spice to it. And I love the color that when it goes onto a piece of meat, it actually puts a little bit of that paprika look to it. So it's great on everything. Check it out. SUCKLEBUSTERS.com. Chicks That Smoke.
Love it. So we got the gentleman Kevin coming up here with the Memphis in May. A couple of little facts that I came up with.
Yeah.
We'll definitely run
Facts.
past.
Dude, hey, listen, let's loosely, because we've done this before and
been wrong.
Yeah, we were like years off on something. Like one time I was like, hey, so you're getting married. I got married like 3 years ago. I was like, oh man, okay, X that out.
You need to update your Wikipedia page.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
No,
Yeah.
I'm divorced.
And also, like we talk about this from time to time, but check out grabbingthebrisket.com. Check out our merch. We're horrible about updating some of the recipes and everything else that we're supposed to be putting out each week. It's just we get caught up on the lives that we have or whatever else. We're trying to get a little more diligent about just getting in there and updating the website itself. We also have some swag in there. If you want to take a look at some of the swag merchandise that we have, we do appreciate every item that's purchased, especially shirts, is able to feed a small human being in my house and also probably James's house, maybe a box of candy or something else. So we do appreciate it. And, also it's cool when we go somewhere, especially some of these live fire events or cook-offs or whatever else, and we look over and somebody has a Grabbing the Brisket shirt on. It's a cool feeling. A lot of times I go there before and I hand them out, and then I show up and I act shocked. But that's okay. That's me. And that's what I do. So
little history of the Memphis in May. Okay. Founded in 1977 as a cultural festival event in Memphis, Tennessee. The barbecue contest launched in 1978 with 26 teams.
Year we were born.
Yeah.
May.
In comparison to now, it's 250 plus teams.
Yeah.
This is crazy. It's amazing. So they feature 3 main categories: whole hog, shoulder, and ribs.
Yep.
Also, they have an ancillary competitions as well. That's hot wing sauce, and anything but pork.
Cool. Well, I think we've got Kevin in the wings there. So let's pull Kevin in. Let's get into all things Memphis in May.
Good evening, guys. It's great to be with you.
It's great seeing you again, Matt. How you doing?
Man, it seems like when we were all together at the shed, that was forever ago, wasn't it?
You're not kidding, man. What a great event that was. That was a really cool event just to hang out.
It was. But anything that Brad and Brooke are involved in is going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be epic. And that's why we're so thrilled. They're the world champions, the defending, undisputed, heavyweight barbecue champions of the world, the Shed, Brad and Brooke.
That's right. Yeah, they won it last year. It's that's a monumental feat there. I mean, it's
third time for them.
Third time. Damn.
They're an elite company.
Yeah. 100%. And I mean, like, it's like you meet them and you're around them and you feel like you've known them for 100 years. You know what I mean? I mean, you're instantly getting a hug. You're just like, hey, what are you doing tonight? Hey, come over here. Let's do this. I mean, it's like your family.
Everybody is family to them.
Yeah,
they are. They're great ambassadors for barbecue, as there are lots of them who are part of Memphis in May who are great ambassadors. So we're very fortunate to have been around for nearly 50 years, considered to be the most prestigious barbecue contest on the planet. And I'm just wondering when you two are going to come visit us. We talked about it.
We did.
The invitation is still there. No pressure tonight.
Right.
But if you say yes, we're going to find a place for you.
Come on, man. Listen, I would love to do it. And it's in May, which is our birthday month, by the way.
Mine too.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
We can celebrate. I think there could be a bourbon together,
I'm talking about. See, so I'm saying this is we're chatting. We're getting shit together right here. This is great. Also, this competition, the competition started the year James and I were born, so 1978. So I'm starting to see like this is meant to be.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately for me, I was closer to high school graduation than being born. But that doesn't mean we still don't have this little vibe thing going on here, guys.
Let's go. That's exactly right. Us Taurus has got to hang out, man. No, so yeah, I mean, if you don't mind, kind of talk about what this barbecue competition means for not just the community in the area, because people from all over the world come in, but just what it means for the sport itself.
I think it's really important when you talk about events like Memphis in May, the World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest, and there are a handful of others like the Jack and the Royal and the Houston Livestock. They really take what we call the sport of barbecue to a whole nother level, right? I mean, there are dozens, hundreds of contests, thousands probably throughout the country and around the world, but a handful really make a huge difference. And they really make careers for people. I mean, the people that have won at Memphis in May, and then they tell you how they've been able to parlay that into a career, into a business, is just incredible. Every time I hear a story where somebody says, well, when I won just even this particular category, not even necessarily winning the world championship, my business, my sales doubled, tripled the next month. I mean, that's epic, right? That's like being on Shark Tank is really what it's like. That's the equivalent. And now you see people all the time on television shows who really got their feet wet in the barbecue business at Memphis in May. And I'll never forget Chris Lilly. He and Myron Mixon have won more Memphis in May world champions than anybody, 5 each. That's why I say when the Shed is sitting there at 3, they're getting right there, right? And there's nobody at 4 to tell you. So, they're in the top 4 to 5. I think there's only 4 or 5 who've won 3 or more.
Wow.
But Chris Lilly, I'll never forget, he was on one of the many barbecue shows. And they were down at Big Bob Gibson's. and they were talking about their white barbecue sauce on their chickens, and they were talking about all of the awards, the acclaims, the championships. And he said, but winning Memphis in May is always the ultimate. And here recently had conversations with Tuffy Stone, and now he's been coming to Memphis in May for maybe 15 years. And now this is a chef by trade.
Yep.
Not one of these who kind of broke into the barbecue. But then when he got into barbecue, and he was having huge success with some KCBS events. And he said, Kevin, I knew, though, if I really wanted to be an elite company in the barbecue world, I needed to win Memphis in May. It's as simple as that. And now this year, he is coming and working and being an ambassador with the 25 youth teams that we are doing for the very first time at Memphis in May. And they're going to walk away with a trophy, just like what the world champion does. And they're going to walk the same stage. So you can't tell me whoever wins won't be a Memphis in May lifer, because that's going to be something that nobody can ever take away from them. And it'll be a memory that will live a lifetime.
Yeah, that's something that's going to imprint on these kids, like as you mentioned, for the rest of their lives. And I don't know if I should say I've not that I feel sorry for them, but they're going to be hooked on this barbecue game for life. They will never. You know what I mean?
It's funny you say that, because we just did a Zoom with all of the youth participants, and some of these are incredibly talented, right? And Tuffy joined them. It was last night, and he said, "This is a slippery slope you're going down, because once you get hooked, you're hooked, and you're going to spend money and time into something that you may never have imagined." But some of these young kids are coming out with their own line of products and everything else. I mean, I will tell you, there was a vice president of a major hot sauce company who came to Memphis in May last year. They had bought VIP tickets, so that we were feeding them pretty good in the VIP area.
Yep.
He wanted to come check out the event, went around, came across, we have a future legends of barbecue area where some of the youngsters are doing demonstrations. He went, enjoyed it so much, and he said, I have to tell you, it was the best food I ate all weekend. And I just was flabbergasted that was his claim that it was. So even though they may be young, don't underestimate their abilities.
They pack a mighty punch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they do.
That's awesome. And that's the thing about that's what I like about what even Texas is doing in the high schools is high school teams now are popping up for and they're competing whatever else. And it's almost like I'll say, like it's like golf, or it's like it's a sport that you hit that one shot, and it's the one shot you're like, well, yeah, but I hit that one shot, and now I've got to go back and try to do it again, right? And in barbecue, you have a little success, and these kids are having success throughout the. But the one thing I will say, they're new to it. They're young enough to realize just how hard it really is. Mm-hmm. And there's no roadblocks for them. I think as you get older, you create your own roadblock.
Yes.
You get in your own head and everything else. But for kids, like, no, it's simple. You just do this and this, and then you turn it in. You're done.
And then you win.
And then you win.
It's what's the old adage? You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's the great thing about being young. And I will, speaking of Texas, I know we have at least 4 teams in the junior division coming from the state of Texas. And we have formed a partnership with the Champions Barbecue Alliance. And the folks there are fabulous. And not only with the junior part of it, but even our world championship, they're sanctioning over 200 events. And we have agreements in place that they have contests that have several over 100 teams.
Mhm.
Those teams are automatically, if you win that grand championship of one of those contests, you automatically receive an invite to Memphis in May.
Nice.
And all the other contests that they're sanctioning, you are entered into a drawing. So the more championships of those that you win, the more entries you have. And we're going to draw from them also to have an entry. And we're also doing something very similar with the Rib Cook-Off Association out of Oklahoma. So we're partnering with some major sanctioning bodies because we feel that barbecue should be inclusive, not exclusive.
Yep.
So whether it's young kids, teams from all over the country, and other contests, if it helps them maybe get another team or two to enter because this is an incentive for them, great. We're excited about all of the partnerships. But I will tell you, I think the state of Texas, and everybody think Memphis barbecue is different than Texas and all that, but the love of barbecue is what counts. We couldn't be more thrilled to be partnering with the CBA and can't wait for those youth teams to also come and be a part of the junior contest at Memphis in May.
Yep. No, Dan, that's completely awesome. I mean, that's the guys with the CBA, they run it's a tight ship, but it's new,
Mhm.
and I think competition breeds greatness. In our area for a long time, we just had it was the the IBCA, right? So
Right.
and it's a great organization, and no knocks, no nothing. We've cooked in it for 20 years, right? But having CBA come on, some of the things they changed in the way they did scoring. I love the walk up music. It's just a cool thing to do. But the way they kind of just changed things, it made the IBCA turn around and go, we got to start thinking outside the box as well. We can't just be status quo. And then getting doing well there, and then getting the invite over to Memphis, which is it's a KBCS or sanctioning body, right? It's right in it. It's Kansas City Barbecue.
No, we're our own sanctioning. We do our own. And so what CBA's goal is, and this is why it was just a natural for us to partner, is they're trying at all of their contests. Their ultimate goal is to prepare those teams to be competitive at the Royal, at Memphis in May, at the Jack. So they want those teams to be prepared, equipped to compete with the very best of the best at the majors. So that's why I thought it was only natural to get involved with them. And we could not be more pleased to be a part with them. And like I said, and also the folks, Jody and Dirk with the Rib Cook-Off Association, which is growing. It's only a year old. It's really refreshing. And I know we've been around for almost 50 years, and we hang our hat on that. But to see some new sanctioning bodies like CBA and the Rib Cook-Off catch fire and do some really, really good things. And, speaking of partnerships, you were talking about all the different contests and stuff that we have as a part of ours. For the first time, we deviated. We're doing something a little different. And that is, we're working with the Steak Cook-Off Association, and we're doing an SCA sanctioned steak event for our teams because we listened to them and they said, we really want to do steak. And so we reached out to Ken and the folks there who are awesome. And we are thrilled that we're going to be doing that for the very, very first time. So, we're evolving. I think the industry, the sport is evolving. There's new people trying to reinvent, and we want to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, good for you guys, man, because there's a lot of places that just doesn't want to, they don't want to change, right? They want to, but this is such a unique cook-off. And again, I do agree with you. It's the majors, right? And everybody looks at this competition as people that want to run the gauntlet, and you've got the Royal, you've got Memphis, you've got the Jack. Houston's there. Houston's a little bit different. They did change a few years ago where they kind of changed the way they were scoring. And it used to, it was more of like it was a rib. It was like an overall. How was it go? An overall winner could have been.
Well, I think you cooked all the meats, but you can only turn in one.
That's right. You only turn in one protein, and everything was judged. So you could have a brisket against some chicken against something else, right? Which was kind of odd or different, right? And it was that way for a long time, but they've changed that to where it's more in line of what's going on. And change is hard to do when you've got something that has so much history. But yeah, I cannot wait to see this competition this year, because it's the kids queue coming up, which is new for you guys. And that thing is just, I cannot support something so much more than that right there. That's
we're sold out. Year one sold out. I mean, and the great part that just makes me feel so good about it is our sponsors have stepped up. There's $15,000 in prize money. That's not a bad shaking of the tree.
Are you kidding me?
Four different categories that we're doing, 2 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and a grand championship. And so not only is there $15,000 at stake, the winners in each division will receive an invitation to the Junior World Food Championships in Indianapolis in the fall. And all the proteins are provided for them. They're walking away with Weber grills. Kingsford supplying a bunch of fuel. They've got grills for them too that they've come out with. And the list of Yeti, they're going to walk away with Yeti coolers. And I mean, the entry fee was just like an investment of me just taking home 3 times the amount of my entry fee. And I might win money. And I might win invitations and trophies and all that fun stuff. So we wanted to make it to where it wasn't about the price of the entry fee, because we want that next generation to really embrace barbecue. And it just pleases me to see people like Kingsford and Yeti and Smoking Brothers and Weber and Heathrow's Barbecue and Wickers. And I mean, the list goes on of people who are behind this from a sponsorship standpoint. And then to see somebody like Tuffy, and I know what's going to happen. While Tuffy is there are other pit masters who are competing that I know are going to show up. Brad and Brooke will show up. Yeah. I would not be shocked to see Myron. You'll see the Willingham family, John Willingham's family, Paul Holden and that crew. There are so many people who just love that young people want to get involved in this. There'll be a who's who right there watching and cheering them on. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you were just a regular attendee, you would give anything to have that group of well-known pitmasters, Amy Mills, all come together. Leslie Eubons, Leslie Scott. I mean, it's just going to be unbelievable to see that take place. So we're excited. We can't wait to crown that first ever champion. And it's going to be not only just fun, but I think setting the tone for the future of barbecue.
No, you're exactly right. And also go down in the history books, right? Because this is history. This is barbecue history. Mm-hmm. And it, winning it obviously goes in the history books, but being the first kid, right? Come on. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, it is. It is. We didn't have that when we were growing up, did we?
No, we didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the judging portion of this, because this Memphis in May competition is a little bit different from some of the other competitions that I've been a part of. Explain how the whole judging thing works, the presentation, because I know there is a there is a little showmanship in there as well. I got to see, and probably a lot of people that are tuning in, I got to see the Myron Mixons. I got to see the Mark Lamberts, the Sweet Swine on Mines, those guys do their thing. So how does this whole process work?
So there's this sophisticated game. It's called rock, paper, scissors. And if you're really good at it, I'm just joking. Right. It is very sophisticated in that we do both on-site and blind judging. Okay. So as a part of the on-site, which a lot of contests don't do on-site.
Right.
When you have 3 judges who come to your space, not only are they trying the barbecue, judging you on your barbecue, you're also being judged on presentation. So literally, people are practicing their presentation almost like they were getting ready for a play, a public performance. It's that pressure packed. And the rest of the team, the head pit master, and maybe a couple others will do the presentation. You show your product on your smoker, on your grill. You serve the judge, and they're getting almost like white glove. If you were at a 5-star Michelin restaurant, even though we're outdoors and who knows what the conditions are going to be. Right. I mean, that's the way they treat it. The rest of their team members are usually right outside of their booth. And if you've never seen a booth at Memphis in May, it isn't like you're just pulling up a pickup truck and pulling out your grill out of the back, right? It takes them a week to build out their booths and their display. They take a lot of pride in it. And so after their presentation to the judge, and they have like 15 minutes to do so, then their team members are always applauding the presentation. But the presentation is a major part on the on-site in addition to the barbecue. And this is where they get to share their process, what went into the preparation of the ribs or the shoulder or the whole hog. Then they're also judged blind back at the judging headquarters. And then the top 3 teams in each of the 3 main categories. So we are by far the largest pork competition that there is. So you choose either whole hog, shoulder, or ribs as your area of focus on Championship Saturday. And so the top 3 in each of those 3 areas then make what we call finals. And then another set of judges comes back out to judge you in another on-site judging performance, so to speak.
Wow. Nice.
So that's
very challenging.
Are run through the gauntlet.
Yes.
For all of that, right? Wow. So it takes us over 300 judges to go through that whole entire process on Saturday alone.
Damn. Yeah, I was gonna. So I actually had a question here. So with so many world-class teams competing, how do you guys maintain the fairness and reputation for the standards of judging? And you just explained everything right there. There's a checks and balances that are going on to make sure that you're getting the right team up there on the stage. So that's amazing.
Yep. And they all have to go through training. And then we have a judging briefing before they're sent out. We're trying to take the best judges for the on-site portion, obviously. Those who we want to know, do you have a conflict somewhere along the lines? If you are,
his last name's Mixon.
if you're, I was going to just say, if you're a cousin of team so-and-so, you're probably not going to judge that particular team in that kind of situation. Right. So, I mean, is it 100% foolproof of all that? But we're taking every precaution, everything we can into play to make sure it's as fair as possible. So if you think about it, we've been doing it 47 years. Mm-hmm. And if the most that any one team has won it is 5 times, that tells you how difficult it is to win it. And if it was that easy, and if it was quote unquote rigged or, there's favoritism or whatever, you'd see certain teams win it 10, 12 times. I mean, Myron Mixon's won it 5 times. He and Chris Lilly, both the top. And Myron Mixon has been in this thing for so many decades that if it was that easy and favoritism because somebody knows who he is, you know, we try to do everything we can to eliminate those factors to the best of our abilities. And I think the record shows that.
Mm-hmm. No, you know it does. And I'll say right now, he wants a 6th.
Oh yeah.
He's dying to get a 6th.
Oh yes. Just like last year, the Shed was dying to get to the 3rd because they knew there's a lot of teams have won 2. Not very many had won 3 or more.
Yeah.
So now they got that one, right? And no doubt the competition between Myron and Chris Lilly will be intense because they both would love to break that tie, right?
Right.
And then you have others who are, you know, whether it's their first time. I've had also teams say, if I just top 10 just to walk the stage at Memphis in May, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that tells you that you are amongst the best, even if you're in the top 10. And so you can imagine what it is to win one of those 3 major divisions. And then on top of that, to win the world champions. And I know I talked about bragging rights a lot in different ways, but let's not forget, I mean, there's still $190,000 that will be awarded that particular week.
That's right. Damn.
Dude, I love it that you let the meat speak for itself in the blind judging.
Yeah.
And then obviously the meat still speaks for itself doing the on-site presentation and the judging, but there has to be a lot of showmanship and a lot of presentation involved to garner those few extra points. And if it's anything like any of the competitions that me and Jan had done, it's like 1 or 2 points separate you from being the grand champion or being like a top 10. You know what I mean? So
it gets down to 1/10 of a point. I mean, it really does. There are so many people who are just like right there. And you know, it's intense, but that's the reason why the best of the best want to be there.
Yeah. You know, and they're good and they're consistent and they could just do it with their eyes closed. And you're going to see the Shed. You're going to see these guys back there in the leaderboard competing for that grand champion title again. We know this is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kevin, do you have a favorite category, favorite meat that you like? I got to get some of this, or is it just all?
Barbecue.
Barbecue. It's a great answer. Yeah.
I mean, come on. If it's good, it doesn't matter if it's a rib or if it's coming off of a loin or what that ham. I mean, and this is what people probably don't understand, because you can have great barbecue at some restaurants.
Yep.
But when you go and you get to try some of the entries that these men and women are turning in, it is like candy in your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But and the part of the reason is they are so meticulous and they take hours upon hours to make sure everything is right. And when you go to a restaurant, it's a numbers game, right? They can't duplicate that process. It takes too long to serve hundreds and hundreds of people to do that. So that's why the championship and the entries that they turn in, like you could take somebody who finished 100th in ribs, and you would say to the average person, it'd be the best rib they ever ate.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah,
yeah.
Speaking of ribs, I think in 2023 you guys had a team, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was the first team from New York that won the Memphis in May, and they did
ridiculous. It was the first rib team to win the world championship in decades. We had a serious run of shoulder and whole hog teams that were winning the world champion. Now, in the early years, it was always a rib team. So I kind of use the analogy of if you were a baseball fan and you're an all-star fanatic back in the day when they really competed in all-star games.
Yep.
You know, you would see the American League win 5 or 6 in a row. Then you'd see the National League win 5 or 6 in a row, right? Things go in spurts. That's what was kind of happening with us. While it wasn't the same teams, it was by categories. But they broke through in 03 or in 2023. And so it's been crazy for them to have won it, but very deserving. Like there was a challenge amongst all the rib teams to see who's going to be the one to break the string.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I mean, there are contests within contests, which is really just fascinating.
I love it, man. I love it. So do you think that will, do you think now this year, do you have a prediction? Is shoulder, rib, or whole hog?
Oh, this would be nothing you would ever want to handicap.
Yeah.
Vegas will stay clear of it because there's so many factors. You know, you don't know what because like on the blind, you don't know who else is going to be at your table in the blind, right? You can think here's the best 4 teams. Well, what happens if 2 of those teams by just circumstance, because again, it's blind, nobody knows, and they just happen to be at the same table.
That's it.
Or the judging, when they're doing the on-site judging, and who else is that judge judging on-site? You don't know. And
That's
so, because they're judging based on the other team's entries, whether it's a blind box or on-site, that they have that day.
That's right.
That's the criteria they're going with. So part of it, and that's why I think you don't always see the same teams winning over and over and over again because of that.
Yeah.
There's so many little factors that play a part into it. And I got to say, we have tremendous leadership in our judging committees. Mary Collins is our judging chair. Brandon and Michelle O'Gwen, who've been the judging chairs for years, who have helped us in so many ways to ensure the credibility, the authenticity of our judging. I couldn't imagine us not having Brandon and Michelle involved with it. Mm-hmm. They are volunteers. They are not paid staff members, but they sweat, blood, equity in it, just as I am here today. Yeah. And, that's what makes Memphis in May. There'll be, I said there was 300 judges. There'll be another 200 to 300 volunteers who will make sure, whether you're a patron, whether you're a team, that you have an incredible world-class experience. They take ownership in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see Kevin, but Michelle, she just jumped in. She was like, hey, all my favorite fellas in the room.
She's the best. And talk about nothing to sneeze at. This girl is a world food champion in her own right last year. And we applaud her. Like, she doesn't have enough going on in her life. Then she turns around and wins a WFC.
I know.
In the live fire of all things, right? And that's the type of people we have being involved with Memphis in May.
That's right.
You beat me to the punch, because I was going to ask you, you can't put on an event like this without the support of volunteers or the support of your teams and people that to make this go. I volunteer for the Houston Last Suck Show and Rodeo World Championship barbecue competition. So I know a little bit about what it takes to volunteer my time to help a barbecue competition get put on. But you beat me to it. Anybody else that you want to run down and thank for putting this thing on and supporting everybody?
No, I mean, we just have, like I said, hundreds of them. We have like 17 different committees. Of volunteers, right? And each committee has a chair and a vice chair, and then they have a steering committee. And whether it's ambassadors or volunteer, we even have a volunteer committee to help make sure the volunteers are taken care of.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's to the level that we're at.
Yeah.
And we could not, we only have a full-time staff of 6 people.
Right. Damn.
And this isn't the only thing that we do. Right.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
when you take that into account, you can see how important each committee chair, and every single volunteer is to this organization.
Yeah. Kevin, you probably couldn't have said it even better than that. It's truly amazing. Just, and obviously I have not been to Memphis in May. I'm hoping to go this year.
We're going to try.
And if I just want to come hang out, I just want to come hang out. Me and Kevin are hanging out.
Dude, you don't have to work. You don't have to work. Come hang out.
Yeah.
I think you might know some people,
I might know a few people. Yeah.
You might know a few folks.
So
you've got my cell number. You let me know.
Definitely.
And we would love to have you. I think you'd have a great time. We'd find a place for you to even put a microphone. If that's what you want to do, roam around, interview some folks, get some great podcasts. We would love for you to be there. And anything that we could do to host you, you can count on us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it. Hey, Kevin, thank you so much for being a part of the Grabbing Our Biscuits show. I cannot wait to be out there this year, James, and to help root on the next 2025 grand champions. And yeah, just kind of be a part of the atmosphere out there.
Yeah. And if anybody out there that is wanting to get in touch with you or get in touch with the organization to support you guys, who can they reach out to? Where can they go?
Yeah, go ahead. They can email me, kgrothe@memphisinmay.org. And here's what we're going to do tonight. However you decide to do it, the pressure's on the two of you.
All right.
But I will make sure, if you want to do some sort of giveaway, we'll do 2 tickets for the weekend, and we'll also do some passes to Barbecue Alley, where they will get unbelievable barbecue. It only has brisket, pork ribs, smoked chicken, smoked turkey, baked beans, coleslaw, things of that nature. We will throw that in as a prize if you want to do some sort of giveaway.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Yes.
You have to determine the contest and who wins, but it is on there. And then maybe part of it will be they get to do a meet and greet with the two of you when you're at Memphis in May.
That's it. Come on the show. I love it. Kevin, thank you so much.
We appreciate it.
Come on.
You are welcome. My pleasure. Let's not make it the last time.
That's right.
Definitely not.
That's right.
All right. Cheers, Kevin. We appreciate you, bud.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Have
sir.
a good night.
Good night. Oh, that's amazing. Are you kidding me? You cannot ask for a better human being, better organization.
We love Kevin.
It's ran well.
Yeah.
You can really tell just how well it's ran. And this is one of the gauntlets. This is the major of barbecue competitions.
Yeah. It's the one you see on the barbecue pitmaster shows.
That's it.
The Memphis and Mays. If you're searching up on YouTube and you're looking at the internet, Memphis and May, the Jack, American Roll, Houston Livestock Show, and Rodeo, all that. I mean, like you said, it is in the Mount Rushmore of competitions that any aspiring cooker wants to win, and it's always been on my bucket list to compete in it.
Yep.
Win it.
Win it, dude.
I gotta learn how to do whole hog now and shoulders, but how hard can it be, right?
I mean, I don't know.
If we can master brisket,
extremely hard, James.
Yeah, if we can master the brisket, then we can do whole hog and
he goes,
pork.
How hard could it be?
Right.
It's extremely hard, James.
Right.
I don't know what you're dealing with over
here. Do you
here.
think I can do like a Maj Podge of instead of doing a whole hog, I just piece it all together?
No, meat glue?
Right. No. I'm talking like the pulled pork, then just a rack of ribs and a rack of ribs. You know what I mean?
I know what you're doing, James. Okay. No, you're not meat gluing 2 shoulders and 2 racks of ribs.
Kevin would not approve.
Yeah, no, we're not going to approve. No, listen. Thank you one more time, Kevin, for coming on the show. Yeah, and now we got a giveaway.
We got
We got to do a giveaway now.
I love it.
This is amazing. So it's 2 tickets to the show, and then we also have the it was the Barbecue Alley or
the Barbecue Alley.
The Barbecue Alley. So not only do you get to go and just be out there, but then you get to go down and you get to taste all the badass barbecue going on in this whole area, right?
Yeah,
so
like you said, it's like any of these barbecue competitions that we go to and the ones that we compete against, you get to sample the best of the best. You get to try the barbecue and let's not mix words. I mean, when you go to like Aaron Franklin's or Killen's Barbecue, or you go to these like craft like back porch barbecue, you go to these craft barbecue people, they're putting out some really good stuff, like really, really, really good stuff. But putting that love and tender into one rib,
one bite,
and you're focusing like 8 hours on just this one rib, 12 hours, it truly is just a remarkable and just like magical bite. And you get to experience that one booth after another.
Damn. I wonder
you
if
got
we
to come
can,
up with a contest.
I wonder
I
if
don't
we
know what
can
you're
win
gonna
it.
do. Yeah.
I wonder if we can win it.
We're gonna show up like with little disguises.
Yeah. Hey, we won it.
Hey, what are the terms? Can I enter?
Right.
Roll. I'm sorry, roll.
I'm Bob Abernathy. I'm from Ohio.
Oh my God. No, listen. We need to go. It's our birthday month, James. We're born in May. This is where we need to be. We need to be with the Memphis in May. What do you think about that, James?
Yeah. The Moors in Memphis in May.
The Moors in Memphis. Yeah, I love it.
Moors.
It sounds good. It has a little zing to it.
We're gonna let Jan come up with a competition or some type of. Maybe we'll do like a submittal. Obviously, you have to get yourself to the Memphis in May. This is not a.
I'll drive us. I'll drive. Listen, if you want to go with this, I'll drive you guys too. Right? I'll pick you up on the way out there.
How far are you? Is it just a straight shot there?
Yeah, it's easy.
Whoever is in that line of sight, you know what I mean? You're not swinging up to Canada to grab.
No,
somebody.
I'll go to Canada. I don't care, James.
Okay.
If you're in the if you're in
figure out the logistics.
if you're in North America, I'll pick you up. I'll bring you out there. This is how we do it. This is who we are, right?
Okay.
I'll probably not do that. I'm just kidding. Listen. Stay tuned for the giveaway, and I cannot believe that Kevin came out and said this. So it's amazing. So stay tuned for the giveaway, because we're going to do a giveaway on this, and we're going to host this. And 2 lucky winners are getting 2 passes to go Memphis in May, and it's all inclusive. Get into Barbecue Alley, and then come on the podcast with us. So I think it's awesome, and it's a great idea. And you know what? We're doing it.
Heard from Jan right here. Do you want to get into this beer review? Hey, Raul, did John send you the barbecue win fail?
The pictures.
The pictures, yes.
No,
I do not have the printout, so I don't know if we'll be able to get to it this week.
I apologize. I have I think there was a little bit of barbecue news, but that was it.
Okay.
Okay. We
yeah,
failed on that.
That's all right. Listen, John's out this week. He has some teeth he's getting taken out. So he's gonna look a little funny for a while. He has little chiclet things running around his front grill, but it's okay.
Do you think he just smiles like
He's
this? He's like
this right here. Right?
just doesn't smile with your teeth.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah,
Let's go.
there's a big old gap there. It's fine. We love John. John, hurry back home. Yeah, we do miss you.
Yeah, let's get into this tropical Nuke juice. The Grabbing the Brisket beer review. I did not mean to have 2 banana flavored beers in a row. This is not something that we planned.
Like a banana tailpipe.
But it is something that whenever we see Martin House Brewery, their beers, I always have to pick them up and try them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are really good. There's a few just like stinkers, but a lot of them are really good. And I think they know. They know
which ones are going to hit.
Correct.
Right. But listen, for everybody that says no, there's somebody that says yes.
Correct.
Right. And that's the way it is. You can't not going to love everything, but
this one, cheers.
There's somebody out there for somebody. That's what that means, right?
This one definitely is a Nukem beer. So this is the tropical Nuke juice. This 12-ounce can, 13% ABV.
Yeah, 13% on this thing. That's why my score is about to be what it is.
Yeah, if you drink, like if you like the sour ales, if you like the sour ness, and I know the younger generation with all the
Don't say
fucking
shit like that.
sour patch kids and all that shit like that.
Yeah.
This right here. I never been a fan of the sour beers. John always he always got them a lot. He's like, this is really good. And you want me to do my impression of John?
Yeah, do it.
This is really good.
That's a really good John.
Yeah.
You should do that more often. You're like a ventriloquist.
That is.
I thought John was in the
He
room.
was in a room.
Damn, John. Do we miss John?
Mhm.
I mean, do we? Because James just sounds like John right now.
Yeah.
Say something else, James.
All right, guys.
That's not John. Okay, that's not John. Yeah, listen, let's talk about the beer really quick.
Okay.
It is sour. This is truly a sour beer.
Yeah.
My first drink, and going because I had a few Coors Lights, it was something that was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I can drink this.
Off-putting.
But now, after drinking more than half of it, and I don't know if it's the alcohol content or if it's
Right.
just the flavor, but the banana and mango is actually working. I'm gonna score this real quick if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Yeah. 7.7. That is a 7.7 beer right there. 7.7 sour. Let's do that. Little 7.7 sour. James, this is it's a great sour. Maybe one of the best sours I've ever had, to be honest with you. And the 13% ABV means I'm not driving home. Somebody else is. So there's that.
All right. I'm going to go in there with a solid 7.0. This is really good.
Okay.
Like I said,
Why do you do that?
7.0.
Yeah.
It's a 7.
But is it only, do you just deal with 10s only? You just like, there's no like halves?
Yeah. I never really got to that in my
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the difference, guys.
Honestly, I do it just to piss you off.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be real.
As
that
you
what it
I
should.
know I can get into fractions and decimal points and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'm just going to solid 7.0.
7.0.
That's really good.
Hey, listen, we're I want to like throw the sheets in the air. We're up against it, guys.
We kinda are.
Stay tuned next week where we bring in we talked aliens, we talked women going to space. Okay.
Kevin
And-
Grothe, Memphis in May.
Memphis in May, which is an amazing event.
Futuristic barbecue pits.
Also, what we're going to look like in 10,000 years.
Mhm.
What more do you want in a podcast? I'm not sure how to, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to barbecue and you're just like, all right, so next week, and we're talking about how you flip your meat and how, yeah.
Don't squeeze it.
Don't squeeze it.
Where do you think the evolution of podcasts are going to be in about 10,000 years?
I don't think there's going to be a podcast, bro. I think there's going to be a volcano that goes off and this world is wiped. So, but hopefully by then we're living on Mars or somewhere else, you know?
Our futuristic race comes back and they're like, everything's just like frozen in time.
Nanu,
know what I mean?
nanu.
Like they pull us up out of the ashes and they have the technology to just like, I don't know if you saw this, like just, I know we're into this podcast, but I know earlier this month, they brought back to life those wolves, the rare wolves,
The dire wolves.
the dire wolves. They brought those back from extinction.
From what?
They found DNA that was
And they gave it to like another wolf?
they had part DNA and then they brought in like they had like the CRISPR and then they just got the whole genome and they took part this and part that. It's all Jurassic Park where they kind of splice
Dude,
other wolf DNA.
We're 10 years from a velociraptor wreaking havoc on one city. And I'm not going to name who the city is right now. And I already know.
Well, they already got the dire wolves. They're already working on the woolly mammoths.
So you really think like deep down inside that Jurassic Park is a possibility?
It's the only
100%.
logical next step. They're gonna like we're gonna do dinosaurs now.
Hey, next Star Trek is coming to life, right?
Well, hypothetically, let me just give you this
Hey.
hypothetical situation.
Live long and prosper. I mean, it's happening.
10,000
Everything that we do right now, we're
Yeah.
living in an. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to
10,000 years from now.
Yeah.
Maybe hypothetical.
Yeah. Bring us back.
Our futuristic race comes down, and they come down and they find.
They're not bringing us. They're just bringing a version of us.
No, they come.
I
down.
want to come back.
Listen to me.
Okay.
They come down and they find.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're coughing. You're whatever.
No.
They find some DNA on a Coors Light can.
Yeah.
We'll go that route.
Perfect.
And they're like, let's bring this person back to life. And then they put it together, and then boom, 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 Jan pops out of there.
So I'm going to freeze myself, and I'm going to come back like Idiocracy or something.
You know that's happening, right?
No, I'm totally
People
fine.
are
with
freezing their brains, or they're freezing themselves in hopes of like 10,000. They're paying companies right now thousands of dollars a month to keep them in a freezer in hopes that
those
10,000
guys.
years
Listen,
from now.
here's the deal. They didn't have the vac master back then. They're all like they got froze.
Freezer burn.
Freezer burn. You can't eat it.
Damn.
You can't warm it up anymore. It just doesn't look right.
All right. This podcast is going off the rails, guys. Hey, we really appreciate you guys tuning in every week. I wish we had the hotline number that we can flash across the screen, but we're going to have it in a couple of seconds. Obviously, you can go to grabandbrisket.com, check out all the stuff that we're up to. Go to our social medias, follow us. Let us know what you think about the show. Give us any ideas, suggestions, feedbacks. Obviously, it's about me. I don't want to hear it, but if it's about Jan, we're all need to learn, right?
That's right. And also, we just dropped the El Guapo dog tonight, so go check that out.
Yep.
The call-in line is 434-829-2299.
Look, I'm really, and I don't know if John's like hoarding all these messages or if we're just not getting any messages.
Yeah,
but maybe we need to let's just buy a billboard, and then we'll just put it up in Houston. And then we'll just have all the messages that people can call in.
Yeah, listen, that's what this is for. If you want to call in and you want to talk about it, you want to give off a barbecue win, a barbecue fail, or talk barbecue, leave a message. We'll play it on our podcast each and every week. And when you do, you win. And and the winner is each and every week we send out a bottle of SUCKLEBUSTERS rub from your choosing. Each week it happens. So we do learn from the barbecue wins. We also learn from the barbecue fails, and that's why we do it.
I learned this past weekend when I was doing my brisket, and it only had one brisket, but I was still going in the same trajectory to put this brisket on the pit that I dropped those briskets on the ground. And I picked it up with one hand. I'm like, no.
You had a flashback.
I'll just do two hands.
Yeah, he had a flashback.
Let me just secure this brisket.
Hey. Listen, we appreciate you staying in and staying with this long. Cheers. Have a great night.
Yeah. Everybody get nuked. Guys, honestly,
go
it's
check
been
these
great
out.
Talking barbecue with you. As we close out, big thanks to SmokerBuilder.com and the MBBQA for their unwavering support.
Absolutely, and cheers to Barbecue News Magazine, SUCKLEBUSTERS, and Dow Strong Knives for their contributions.
And you know Yeti always has our back, and Coolie Nation ensures our drinks stay perfectly cold.
Lastly, props to Cambro Manufacturing and, of course, the Spicy Nut, the Chicks of Smoke Seasoning. Thanks to all for powering this show.
Until next time, keep smoking.